Hello, dear students. Hope you all are well and fine. So, in this chapter, the enemy, we read how Hana and Sadao, who were standing on the over the railing of the veranda, noticed a man. The man was thrown up by the sea, and Hana asked her husband, "Who's there?" And then, page number 26. This the last stanza. A fisherman, perhaps, Sadao said, washed from his boat. So the first guess about the man by Sadao was that the person could be a fisherman. Maybe he had got washed from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps, Sadao, and behind him Hana came, her white sleeves flying. A mile or two away on either side there were fishing villages, but here was only the bare and lonely coast, that too dangerous with rocks. So, where the house of Sadao was located, from there a mile or two away were fishing villages, but here near the beach on this coast, near Sadao's house, the water was not having any kind of fisheries, and there here the sea was bare and lonely, and it was also dangerous with rocks. There were a lot of rocks here. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. The water waves, which come with bubbles, all those kind of bubbles were actually covering spiked rocks. Somehow the injured man, had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. He, matlab the injured man, and because he had come through spiked rocks, he must be badly torn. Tear is the verb we usually use for clothes or pages, but here it is used for a human being. It actually means he must be badly hurt. They refers to Sadao and Hana, they saw when they came toward him that indeed, in reality, it was so. It was so means their belief was right, that yes, he was badly torn. He was very much hurt because of rocks. The sand on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. One side of that person's was actually red because of bleeding. He is wounded, Sadao exclaimed. He made haste, hurry to the man who lay motionless. The man was motionless, his face in the sand. An old cap stuck to his head, soaked with seawater. The hat was very the cap was very wet, that it stuck to that person's head. He was in wet rags of garments. His garments were like rags, torn clothes. Sadao stopped, Hana at his side, and turned the man's head because he fell on his face. So Sadao turned the man's head, and they saw the face. A white man, Hana whispered. As soon as they saw the face, Hana said, "Oh, a white man." With the sign of exclamation, you can see why it is there, because as I told you in the beginning too, the story is set in the days when America and Japan were at war, and Sadao was Japanese, and this man was an American. So indirectly, this man was their enemy. Yes, it was a white man. The wet cap fell away, and there was his wet yellow hair. Yellow hair is again the unique characteristic of Americans. Long, as though for many weeks it had not been cut. The hair were very long. And upon his young and tortured face, see, young he was, and the face was tortured, was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. They, Sadao and Hana, whatever they were doing with the man was not aware, he was unconscious. Now Sadao remembered the wound, he remembered the bleeding, and with his expert fingers because he was a very expert surgeon, he began to search for it. It means wound. He began to search for wound. Blood flowed freshly at his touch. Okay, so he touched fresh blood. It means he had come to the opening of the wound. On the right side of his lower back, Sadao saw that a gun wound had been reopened. So the man was not only damaged with rocks, he was not only hurt or injured with rocks, he also had a gun wound on his body. The wound, which was closed gradually, But it was unfortunate for that injured white man that the rock had also hit him on the same place, and the gun wound was reopened. So he was having double injury, you can say. The flesh was blackened with powder, gunpowder. Sometime not many days ago, the man had been shot and had not been tended. So the man was shot some days ago and he was not treated. It was bad chance that the rock had struck the wound. So unluckily, the rock had also hit on the same spot. Oh, how he's bleeding, Hana whispered again in a solemn voice. Solemn, serious. So, in a very serious tone, Hana whispered again, oh, how he's bleeding. The mists screened them now completely. Screened means hid them. Hid them now completely, covered them now completely. And at this time of day, no one came by. So there were only three persons, Hana Sadao and that injured white man, or you can say an injured enemy. The fishermen had gone home, and even the chance beachcombers would have considered the day at an end. So everybody went home. Fishermen, now at night they were not able to catch the fish, and the beachcombers, the people who stand there to wait for some valuable or some utilities to come out of the beach and they could have it and sell it and then earn money. Those people also would have considered the day at an end and they also had gone there. What shall we do with this man? Sadao muttered. Now, the very important question. Sadao now questioned, what shall we do with this man? Okay, because he was not only an injured person, a common one. He was an enemy and he was injured. Two things were there. But his trained hands seemed of their own will to be doing what they could to stop the fearful bleeding. Although mind-wise he was confused. He was thinking what to do with the man, but his fingers, like a good doctor's fingers, started doing their work, and the fingers, he was trying to stop the bleeding with the help of his fingers unknowingly. Okay, knowingly with his mind he is thinking what to do with the man, but unknowingly, as a doctor, his fingers are like trying to treat the wound. He packed, you can say filled the wound with the sea moss that strewed the beach, that was scattering over the beach. He took that moss and covered the wound, filled the wound so that the bleeding should stop for a while. The man moaned with pain because moss was going inside the wound, so he was moaning. Moaning means crying deeply in pain. In his stupor means unconsciousness, but he did not awaken. The blood loss was so much, he was so much injured that he was unconscious and he did not awaken. The best thing that we could do would be to put him back in the sea, Sadao said, answering himself. He asked, what should we do with this man? Hana did not answer. And then Sadao himself answered his question. The best thing would be to put him back into the sea. Because they could not treat him. It would be like against the country, and they could not hand him over to the police because he was already injured. If he would be given to police, he would be definitely killed. So that is the reason he said the best thing would be to put him back into the sea. Now that the bleeding was stopped for the moment, he stood up and dusted the sand from his hands. The bleeding was stopped, so Sadao got up and he dusted his hands. Yes, undoubtedly, that would be best, Hana said steadily, continuously, slowly. Hana also said, yes, it would be best. But she continued to stare down at the motionless man. But still she could not take her eyes off from that injured man. She was thinking about that person. But yes, she knew also that the best thing would be to throw him back. Although they wanted to help him, he was very much bleeding, and Sadao was a doctor, but still they could not help him. If we sheltered a white man in our house, we should be arrested, and if we turned him over as a prisoner, he would certainly die, Sadao said. So they were having two options, and Sadao said this, that if they sheltered this white man in their house, they would be arrested like traitors, And if they would turn him over to as a prisoner to the police, he would certainly die. The kindest thing, so they could not do any of these above said things. The kindest thing would be to put him back into the sea, Hannah said. So they were in so much dilemma that Hannah said that the kindest thing for him would be to put him back into the sea. But neither of them moved. Both of them were saying that we should put him back into the sea, but nobody was making any attempt. They were staring with a curious repulsion upon the inert figure. Repulsion is opposite of attraction. They were feeling a kind of hatred for him because, yes, that was their enemy. And they were also looking at continuously at inert, lifeless or unconscious figure. What is he? Hannah whispered. So Hannah saw something. She was staring the person. She noticed something and she said, "What is it? What is he?" "There is something about him that looks American," Sadao said. He took up the battered cap. Yes, there, almost gone, was the faint lettering, "A sailor," he said, "from an American warship." So here they got a proof. The cap, which fell away from his head, was having some kind of wording. Those were a sailor. He spelled it out, US Navy. The man was a prisoner of war. So he was not only an American, but he was a soldier. Okay, so he was a prisoner of war. Whenever a war is going on between two countries, and the soldiers who are caught, captured by the soldiers of another team, they just keep them with themselves and ask for the other secrets, and those prisoners of war are tortured very much. "He has escaped," Hannah cried softly. So Hannah came to conclusion that it means he is a prisoner of war and he has escaped somehow, and that is why he is wounded. That is why he had to face a gunshot in the back. Sadao agreed. Sadao also agreed, saying, "Yes, in the back." So when somebody is running and somebody is chasing him, so if there will be a gunshot, it will be in the back or the back part of the body. They hesitated, looking at each other. Then Hannah said with resolution, determination. They thought for some time, and then Hannah said, "Come, are we able to put him back into the sea?" Okay, so for a little time they were thinking to do something else, but they were not having any option. So finally Hannah said, "Let's put him back into the sea." "If I am able, are you?" Sadao asked. So Sadao said, "Okay, if I am able to throw him back into the sea, are you able? Would you be strong enough to throw an injured man like this into the sea?" "No," Hannah said. "But if you can do it alone?" Hannah clearly said, "No, I can't do this." So if you can you can do it alone. So thou hesitated again. He was also not that much strong. The strange thing is, he said, that if the man were whole means all right, health-wise, healthy, I could turn him over to the police without difficulty. So here you can see a true patriot in Dr. Sadao somewhere. He said that if this man, this prisoner of war, were healthy, were all right, then I could not have any problem to turn him over to the police. I care nothing for him. True patriotism you can see in Dr. Sadao. He said, "I care nothing for him. He is my enemy. All Americans are my enemy. And he is only a common fellow. He is not a special American for me." You see how foolish his face is? His face is not actually foolish. Why he is saying so? Because he was his enemy. He loved his nation. So the person who were against his enemy looked foolish to him. So that's why he said, you see how foolish his face is? But since he is wounded, then he stops. The main thing is he is wounded. So although he is looking like foolish to him and he is his enemy, he knows it, but he still does not have the courage to throw him back into the sea. "You also cannot throw him back to the sea," Hannah said. "Then there is only one thing to do. We must carry him into the house. You can't leave him here in this state. So if you can't throw him back, let's take him to our house." So they are taking the risk of their lives. But the servants, Sadao inquired. Servants are also there in their house. It is their decision. They would shelter an enemy. But what about servants? We must simply tell them we intend to give him to the police, as indeed we must, Sadao. So Hannah said that what they would say to the servants, they decided, we must simply tell them that we plan to give him to the police, as indeed we must, Sadao. That we have the plan that we would be giving this prisoner of war to police once he gets healthy. We must think of the children and your position. She is reassuring or confirming this thing from Sadao that if he gets healthy, we would have to hand him over to the police. Do not think otherwise. We'll have to give him to police. If it doesn't happen, if Sadao does not get agreed to hand him over to the police, then Hannah said it would endanger all of us if we did not give this man over as a prisoner of war. Everybody would be in danger. Certainly, Sadao agreed. I would not think of doing anything else. He said, okay, I would not think of doing anything else. So in this way, finally Sadao and Hannah have decided to take the man with them and treat him first, and then they would hand him over to the police. And with this, some general things about the language, common mistakes. You must have got confused with this married to and married with. So if we are talking about a female, we would use to, like she is married to a dentist. But if we are having a male, we would say he is married with a dentist, then it's fine. With is used when you are talking about male. To is used when you are talking about female. Sarah is married to my brother. Next, only me and my friend were at home. Here what we have to use is the second person. Only my friend, second or third person are there. Then we use the first person. Only my friend and I were at home. You'll talk about yourself in the end when you have prepositions or the different persons. He made a world record. It's wrong. It should be he set a world record. Next, my son suggested to go for a walk. Suggested, if you are using suggested, you would not use to plus first form, you would use ing. My son suggested going for a walk. Or the restaurant is opened every day. Here you don't use ed verb for open. This restaurant is open every day. Next is I have been abroad 5 years. 4, when the time is there, duration is there, we'll have to use for or since. I have been abroad for 5 years. I need to go to home. I need to go home. Why? See this, it's very interesting. In this phrase, go home, home is not a noun but an adverb. Okay. Specifically, it is an adverb of place. Keep it in mind. So you do not need a preposition like to prior to home anytime. Do not add to before you use the word home. Like if you want to say to or any preposition, like sometimes the students say, if I ask where are you, they would say, ma'am, I am at home. No, I'm home. It's sufficient. We also do not use to before these words when it is used as an adverb, like abroad. He is going to abroad. No, he's going abroad. Anywhere, downstairs, here, home, in, nowhere, out, outside, somewhere, there, underground and upstairs. So in these cases, we do not use to preposition. So go through the video and use these new rules or the corrections in your fair notebook so that whenever you open it, you revise it, and then definitely you would not commit such kind of mistakes. Have a good day.